In a quest to see who can bankrupt America first, the lead donkey and lead elephant have finally come to an agreement that will allow the debt ceiling to be raised. This narrow escape helps avoid a default in the United States and subsequent shocks to the global economy. In shoot first, ask questions later fashion, everyone has championed the deal. But what exactly is it, and why did we come so close to financial Armageddon? Contrary to the name, the debt ceiling isn't actually a roof. It's a limit set by Congress on how much money the US can borrow. This modern-day version of a US government credit card was introduced during World War I and gave the Treasury more flexibility in its ability to borrow. Prior to that, Congress had to approve each issuance of debt, and since a group of old folks getting together to try to make decisions is about as speedy as a sloth on a treadmill, this was a simpler way to get done. This new system invented a way for Congress to have some control over the federal government's spending. In simple terms, it's a cap on how much debt the US can accumulate. Basically, like a salary cap in sports. For those of you that don't follow sports, it's a cap not dissimilar to the allowance a Redditor gets from his wife's boyfriend. The debt ceiling allows the Treasury to issue debt as long as the total stayed under the agreed upon limit. This streamlined the process of managing the country's finance during war and thereafter. This was the introduction of the money printer. Fast forward to today, the debt ceiling has become more of a weaponized political football and a blank check for the government to spend. In fact, since 1960, Congress has raised the debt ceiling 78 times. So why was there an issue today? In a word, politics.
I don't touch this stuff, not gonna touch this stuff, never touch the stuff. That was a lie.
People keep mentioning that we narrowly avoided disaster, but what would happen if the debt ceiling wasn't raised? Well, it's about as pretty as lipstick on a pig. In that dystopia, the US government wouldn't be able to borrow more money to pay its bills. It's like running out of cash and maxing out your credit card at the same time that check you got from the shady Craigslist job just bounced.
The money, Skylar, where is the rest?
In turn, this would lead to a default on national debt, which would be the equivalent of a financial earthquake. Interest rates would rise, the stock market would crash, and the value of the dollar would drop faster than when my wife left me.
I'm out.
So has the US ever defaulted? Nope, not yet, but we've had some close calls. Picture defusing a bomb with seconds to spare. That was the US in 1979 and less so in 2011, when the debt ceiling was raised just in the nick of time. I know some of you are asking, who would Uncle Sam be defaulting on? Well, the US government borrows money from a bunch of sources, including individuals, institutions, and foreign governments.
China!
A default would be like skipping out on the bill at a restaurant, but the restaurant is the global economy. Some of you might be asking, given all of that, doesn't that make the argument on the debt ceiling just stupid posturing? Sorta. The real answer is not that simple. See, just like shockwaves of an earthquake, the real issue here will be the reverberations of this deal. If a debt ceiling is raised and we kick the can down the road like last time, but the plan isn't good enough, we could see an ultimate downgrade in the US's AAA rating. This would have cataclysmic, unintended consequences. A US credit downgrade is about as secure a feeling as your girlfriend going on a trip with a group of Chads. There is no coming back from that, my boy. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's raise a glass in honor of the man-made borderline catastrophe caused by spending like drunken sailors. Here's to kicking the can, to next time we need to point fingers and blame one another for political capital. Hopefully we have a financial market to f*** around with by then.